Welcome back, guys. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about brand guideline. Creating the brand guideline is where the major task is. So logo presentation is all about acceptance, your client accepting your logo. But in creating brand guideline, it shows how the logo should be used, how you should use your logo in design materials. This is what a brand design looks like. This is what a brand line looks like. So we have this for drink.com. So what you're going to do is just to place the logo first, create a primary logo with tagline. You have to choose your color palette, that's the color code for the brand. You have to choose the font for the brand, and you have to do something like a word mark, wave icon, and sub mark. You have to do all this, and you have to create the variations of logo. This is how simple a brand guideline could be. If you want us to do that, we can use Canva to create our first design brand guideline. Let's use Canva to do that. So we're going to create it page by page with Canva. We're going to use Canva to create it page by page. We're going to use the presentation 16:9, and we're going to create our first brand guideline. All I'm going to do is that our guideline will be in black. As you can see, we have the variation. We have this one in white. We can create ours in black. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create ours in black. We're just going to create a very simple one, something that will not be too difficult to create, as just a tutorial for us. So we are going to do this. We are going to make this black. We're going to make this black. So the entire brand guideline will be black. And we're going to come to upload. Here it needs more explanation. You can check for ideas right here. You can say you want to explore, check for brand guideline. We are talking about brand guideline. So we are going to see different brand guideline design. So right here, let's just do what we have to do first. So this will just comprise of your logo. So I'm just going to do this. So we have something like this, and yeah, we have something like this as first and second. So we're going to create, what we are going to do next is to create the primary logo and primary logo with tagline. So the primary logo is this, of course. So this is the primary logo. We're going to have this, and we're going to just give a simple tag. We're going to give a simple text tag. So we're going to say, let's give something like this. So we say primary logo, and we leave this at this. So we have that. Let's do something like this. So we have this. So we have the primary logo right here. So let's take this to primary logo with tagline, and this will be, let's bring just the primary logo in right here. Okay, so we have this. Let's do this way. This is the primary logo, and we'll do primary logo with tagline right here. So let's do something like this. Let's say, let's bring in text. Let's bring in subheading. Let's say, let me do something like this. Okay, so let's create this. Let's use aqua to refresh the color. Let's use aqua. So we have something like this, and we're going to make this a little bit. We're going to make this Ara font. Let's change the font to this. Let's change to this. So we're going to have something like this, or let's change to Nova, and we're going to have something like this. So we're going to remove this, and we're going to make it smaller. Let's make it like 24. So we'll make it like 24. So we have something like this, and this can come in something here, and we have how far is where you want to be. So we have the tagline that way. And yeah, so let's create the next. So we have primary logo and tagline, as you can see, and I can just create a barrier right here. So let's just do something. So let's create a line. Let's create a line element. So let's say line. Let's choose line right here. Let's create a line element, and we're going to have that. I have this rotated. It's rotated to 90. Just make sure it's 90. So this is 90 right here. So I'll make it 90 and make it come this way. Let's make this aqua. That's the border. So we are going to reduce the opacity. Let's reduce the opacity. So let's make something like this. So we have something like this. Let's create the next one. So the next thing we're going to bring in our guideline is the color palette. So let's say color palette. So I'm going to just come here and bring in the color palette. Let's say bring it here. So we have the color palette. So we have the color palette right here. All we have to do is to create 3 circles. So we have 3 circles created, just like we've seen it in that. So we're going to just do something like this. So the first color palette should be aqua, of course. First color palette should be aqua, and we have black, of course, and we're going to give it a border. We're going to give it a border of, can leave it at that, border width, and we're going to give the border width a color. We're going to give it a color white. So we have this, and we have the last one, it should be white. So these are the color palettes. We can make this the color palette, and I'll just give it the name. So these are, so we have 00F. So I'll just copy this, and I'll just give it in here. So we have that video, and I'll just say, oh yeah, and I'll give it black, with black right here. So I'll give this white instead, and the black color palette to be 00060. So hash 000000. So we have that, and we're going to control D this as well. Control D, and we're going to have this somewhere here. So we're going to have this somewhere here. We're going to give this a black color, and we're going to say this should be FFF. So we have 6F for this hash. So we have our color guideline right here. We have our color palette right here. So we're going to create the next. The next thing we're going to have here is the font. So we're going to have fonts. We're going to have fonts. We're going to have primary and secondary font, something like that. So we have the primary font. So let's say font right here. You say font. As you can see, we have the primary font and secondary font. So we're going to do that as well. So let's create our primary font. So this will be our primary font, of course. This will be our primary font. So I'm going to just bring this here, and I'll say change to aqua, say primary font. I can use my own initiative to create the font. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So we have this as our primary font. I'll change it to white. I can make this like 24 instead, and I'll change it to white. Change it to white, so we can say letter spacing. Let's do some letter spacing. We can say 500 letter spacing. This can be changed to, like, you can see it from here. We have small letters as well. So we're going to create the small letters right here. We have these, and create a line space, it creates a letter spacing, something like this. So we have this, and I'll make this white as well. So I'm going to control D this. So we have secondary front as well. So let's make secondary front here. You can say something like secondary front. You have to put more thinking into this brand guideline actually. So we can say secondary front, and we're going to do something like this. Secondary front can start here. Just change the fonts to like Nova, and let's see what it looks like. So we have the secondary font right here. So we'll leave it like this, and we'll go to the next. The next says there is a word mark, there is a 5 icon, and okay, so we're going to just have a word mark and 5 icon. So let's do the next thing. So what we're going to do now is to have a word mark and 5 icon. So coming back here, I'll say, and I'll duplicate this as well, and word mark. So we have 5 icon and word mark. So what we're going to do is to bring the upload right here, and bring this right here. So we have, this will be our 5 icon. We're going to, okay, let's put this aside. Let's put this as our 5 icon. So this will be our 5 icon. Just make it smaller, and just make it come a little bit here. Okay, and this will be our word mark. So what I'm going to do is just to leave this like this and say word mark. So we have something like this. So these are 5 icon and word mark. Then we're going to go to the next, and we're going to say, the last thing says light background, dark background. So what we're going to do is to bring all sort of background for the logo. So I don't need to do any more creation to that. All I have to do is to just create two variations of the logo. So I'm going to use the element to dissect the rectangle. So you just have two variations of the logo. So we have this, I'll say, and this will be aqua. Okay, so I'm going to come to the upload. And I'm going to make this stays here. Why this stays here? Why the black? I'm going to import the black. This is the black right here. I'm going to just bring it in and say black stays the other side. So we have this black stays here. So we have the brand guideline. We'll be able to do a brand guideline right here. All we have to do is to just, let me bring this, let me say this comes here. So I'll just bring it to the middle here. I'll say logo variation. So we're going to have this somewhere here, and to have this somewhere here, and this somewhere closer to here. And we're going to make this aqua. I'm going to make this aqua, and I'll make this black. So we are done with our design this way. We're done. So these are, let's use this as our brand guideline, as a sample of a brand guideline. And I'm going to just say alpha links brand. Okay, so we have this. I'm going to download it in a PDF format, and you can share it to your clients that way after the logo has been accepted. So it's as simple as that. All these things are simple to create. Just be creative about it and look for inspirations everywhere. You can get inspiration everywhere. For instance, I've come to Pinterest. These are brand guidelines you can get inspiration from. You can check these, check them out one by one and see the one that you'll be using for your clients. I got this from Pinterest as well. So this looks so simple. That's why I implemented something like similar to this. It's not necessarily you copy the exact thing you are seeing. You can implement something similar. As you can see, this is one right here. You can do something like this. You can do something more simple. You can do something more complex. But for now, we'll be able to use this, and we have the brand guidelines. So all I have to do is to open the PDF file and see what it looks like. I'm going to download it in image format as well. So let's see what the brand guideline looks like. So I'm just going to make this go this way. So we're going to present it actually, and we're going to see what it looks like at the very end. So this is a very simple brand guideline. It's as simple as that. You can create something as simple as this, and you can create something more complex. So we have this right here as our brand guideline. I'm going to export this at the same time. I'm going to export it as JPEG so we can have it presented later. So I'm going to just export and say download, and I'm going to export it as JPEG right here. And we're going to have that in the books, and I'm going to download that. I hope to see you in the next lesson. This is where this lesson comes to an end. I hope to see you in the next lesson. See you there.